1 minute to the top of the hour East African time. Just in time for the latest in the world of news this particular afternoon. A lot has been happening within the country and beyond the borders, but now time to bring you up to speed. My name is Mwege William. Welcome to the broadcast. Now, this particular afternoon, Azimio leader Raila Odinga, in his continued abort of the Finance Act 2023, has called on President William Ruto to size down government expenditure other than imposing more taxes on which the opposition has insisted to be punitive. Odinga has called on Azimio allied member of parliament to dissent on the Finance Act ahead of Treasury Cabinet Secretary Njuguna Ndung'u's appearance next week in parliament.
Sent VAT on maize flour, cassava flour, and wheat flour. It gets worse when we factor in the proposal to expose agricultural pest control products, transportation of sugarcane, raw materials for fertilizer manufacturing, and fertilizers to VAT. The net effect is that costs rise again. For me, from his fantasy world, Ruto wants to double the VAT on fuel from 8% to 16%. Palm prices will increase by 9 shillings per litre of diesel and 10 shillings per litre of petrol. The cost of goods, bus fare and production will immediately rise again. Healthcare has impoverished millions of Kenyans. But Ruto wants to expose pharmaceuticals and medicaments to taxation by removing them from the zero-rated to tax-exempt list, targeted at the price of lifelong medication like insulin and those for chronic illnesses like diabetes and hypertension. After raising the cost of fuel, they want to raise advance tax on motor vehicles. Advance tax on passenger vehicles will increase from the current Kenya shillings 2,400 to at least Kenya shillings 5,000, and from 3,000 to at least 5,000 for commercial vehicles. Trucks will now pay at least 60,000 shillings annually, up from 20,000 shillings.
Now let us shift gears and head to the corridors of justice, where a public hearing on the circumstances that led to the death of Jeff Mwadhi, who died in February this year at the home of DJ Fatso, will take place on the 10th of August this year, being the year 2023. The matter was mentioned today before Magistrate Zainab Abdul, who directed the investigating officer Clement Mwangi to supply the documents he will use into the inquest to the other parties. At least 35 witnesses will be called to shed light into the death of Mwadhi.
Today, for directions on the inquest of the unfortunate death of Jeff Mwadhi. We will be in court again on August 10th for the hearing of the inquest to begin. So we hope that this process will finally shed light as to the culprits and the perpetrators, as to the unfortunate death of Jeff Mwadhi. As the defense, we have our best foot forward, and we will do what is necessary to uncover who caused this untimely and unfortunate death of Jeff Mwadhi. Thank you.
Whether it is by default, whether it is by design, we will ensure justice for Jeff and justice for the mother. She's devastated. The loss of her and the circumstances of the death was horrid. It is one of the most callous types of murder that has ever occurred in this country for a young man, a youth of that age. But we are determined as the defense team for the family, we will keep this matter alive in the public domain, and will be calling upon the whole country to rally behind the agenda of getting the heinous murderer, either one or two or three, that participated or planned the death of that young man.
Elsewhere, officers in Nakuru have arrested 78 people suspected of being members of the outlawed gangs confirmed Watized, Mauki and Islando, who have inflicted untold violence on civilians and committed a slew of crimes in the recent past, as Chichi Josephine now tells us.
They are well known for causing sleepless nights to residents of Nakuru County and its environs. Most of them are aged between 16 and 30 and are described as young and dangerous.
The young boys who are leaving from 4, they are the ones that are joining these groups.
They have no second thought about hacking or shooting a person they think stands in their way of getting what they want. These are the police taunting boys of Nakuru, the area's most dangerous criminal gangs. We visited one of the slums said to be harboring the gangs, and here we meet Amina Hussein, not her real name. Amina explains the agony her family has gone through after their kin lost his life allegedly in the hands of the gangs.
Hii mambo ya grupi gangs waliniadhiri mimi, waliniulia mtoto wa dadangu. Yeye hakukuwa kwa hiyo gangs, yeye alikuwa kwa ndugu yake ndio yuko kwa hiyo gangs. Sasa ile wakampata wakamuua, ndo ndugu yake ajitokeze asikie uchungu awakute. Hii mambo inatudhuru sana. Inafika mahali mpaka watoto wetu wameolewa na group fulani. Wasichana wetu nakuta familia yetu imeolewa na group fulani. Mtu hawezi toka huko akakuja akakutembelea huko.
She says there has been a bitter battle for control between the gangs for a long time, an issue they are worried of as the boys have marked territories and their security in the area is at stake.
Hata kuna vijana wengine huko kwetu walikuwa wanafanya kazi ya bodaboda, walikuwa wanabeba hawa vijana, wakakuja wakaingishwa kwa bifenye hawajui. Hawezi enda huko, mamao akikuja mpaka mamao akuje hapa, hawaone, hawalete chakula. Yani beef ni mbaya.
Another victim, Khalil Museo, not his real name, also says he narrowly escaped death after he found himself in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Tulikuwa tunatoka kuona mpira wa Arsenal usiku. Nikasema nisindikishe mwenzangu mpaka kwake Freehold. Kutoka tu kuelekea, vijana wakatokea. Vijana walikuwa kenge ya watu 5. Mmoja nikaona amenifikia kumtaka kumsukuma na teke amke ndani ya mtaro. Ikawa ni ugumu, akanishika mguu, kashika longi, akanidunga kisu mguuni.
The rival criminal gangs have in the last 1 month attacked each other, leading to the death of 3 and several other residents and bystanders falling victim of the clash between the gangs, with a rise in robberies and stabbing incidents.
Ni mtu hawezi enda kutembelea mtu wao, hata kifo ikiweza tokea kuna mwenye anaweza kuja mali fulani juu ya hawa vijana.
However, 78 of the gang members from various criminal gangs have been arrested in different locations armed with various weapons, including swords, machetes, improvised tasers, daggers, among other crude weapons.
We did a major operation last night, and we arrested a number of weapons that they are using, and those weapons are very dangerous. In that operation, we arrested 78 of them who are in the cells, and immediately after this, we are taking them to court.
County Commissioner Layford Kibara said they have launched investigations into suspected police officers, Nyumba Kumi leaders, elders and local administrators said to be abetting and protecting the gangs.
Some of our Ngawal officers, some of our Nyumba Kumi, including part of what we call village elders, and some of our police officers are in one way or the other abetting these crimes, or rather protecting these criminals.
At the same time, members of the Security Committee in Nakuru, led by their chairperson Hassan Duale, have accused the security leadership of laxity in taking the gangs.
We feel that there is laxity of insecurity in Nakuru, and it's something that they are not doing. We feel that they are not doing their work. We ask the county commander, the county commissioner, to take up their work and do what they were brought to do here in Nakuru.
We cannot be losing people lives. We cannot be losing business people in Nakuru. We are in a city, by the way, and this must be taken very serious.
The frequent change of guard has also been noted as a factor in the unrest of security in Nakuru County.
We also wish to ask the national government through the Ministry of Interior that this change of guard, they should not do it like, immediately after 1 month or 2 months, mtu akai hapa anafukuzwa. So at least they should be around for some time to know the problems that affects these young people.
Chichi Josephine, TV 47.
All right, and following that report by our very own Chichi Josephine, we hope security apparatus will take up action on that particular matter. Elsewhere, health researchers in Mombasa and Kilifi counties have begun conducting a study on the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic on the healthcare workers. The study is aimed at knowing the difference on how male and female healthcare workers suffered from the COVID-19 impact and find a solution to the findings. The researchers say they will aid them to come up with policies that will help in future emergencies, preparedness and response.
The idea is to really come up with evidence-based decisions that will inform policy. And what we are looking at is during the pandemic COVID, there were so many disparities that were exposed, not only unique to Kenya, but to all over the world. So many studies have exposed these kind of disparities, either due to race, age, gender, and many others. So what we are looking at with our partner is to look at the similarities or similarities that will be through the evidence that will be provided through that study into how our healthcare providers benefited in terms of the services they provided in the unpaid and the paid, both male and female. To simply put, we are looking at how going forward be able to be resilient systems to overcome these disparities within the different counties. We are starting with Mombasa, Kilifi counties, hoping to go further to the other neighboring counties in the entire coast region.
Elsewhere, Kenya Army Engineers Brigade in Thika is aiming to realize President William Ruto's 30% forest cover agenda by planting 450 million trees in the next 10 years. Speaking at a tree planting forum in Thika Garrison Secondary School in Kiambu County, Lieutenant Lisa Gashambi says the trees will be planted across the country in partnership with other institutions. The tree planting session was a measure of KDF officers, students from Thika Garrison Secondary School and Gatuanyaga MCA Jackson Kongo, who has urged residents to plant trees in order to change the semi-arid environment of Gatuanyaga Thika Garrison Secondary School. Deputy Principal says students will be tasked with watering the trees so that they can grow.
We have a target of planting 450 million trees in the next 10 years, in line with the Commander-in-Chief's directive of planting 15 billion trees. As Thika Garrison, we are planting 3 million trees this year, and that is why we have partnered with several partners in meeting the target.
Na tungeomba serikali iangalie kwa kina na kwa maana sana hapa Gatuanyaga, sababu hii ukame hii miti umeona tumepanda siku ya leo, lazima tunyunyizie maji, na unaona shimo haikuenda chini sana, sababu after 2 foot tunapata ni jiwe, kumaanisha sisi tuko kwa ground ambayo ni ya mawe. So wakati tunagawiwa vitu na serikali, ni mzuri wanaangalia mahali kuna ukame.
Na uhakika ambao naweza kuwapatia ni kwamba tutatunza, tutarida, tutanyunyuzia maji miti hii mpaka iweze kukomaa kwa njia ambayo inafaa. Miti ni muhimu.
Let us shift focus to our farms, where the Kenya Dairy Board has commenced public participation to collect views that will guide in the amendment of a law which is set to empower farmers to double milk production. The board chairman, Genesio Mogo, while speaking after collecting views in the Embu farmers who operate within Kirinyaga and Embu counties, observed that the existing law was not aligned to the constitution and the county government structure. He added that the new law will create an enabling environment for farmers to produce enough milk for local consumption.
Today we had a very great day, together with the community of Embu County, Tharaka Nithi County, and Kirinyaga County, doing a public participation in the process of developing the Kenya Dairy Board Act. The Kenya Dairy Board Act was done in 1958, and it has never had any major review since 1958. It lacks in a number of areas. One, it is not harmonized with the Constitution of Kenya. Number two, it lacks harmonization with the county structures. Number three, it lacks affirming food safety aspects, which are very fundamental to the lives and prosperity of our people. Three, it also lacks the element of power to enforce all these aspects within the dairy board. And therefore, this is what you're going through, so that we can be able to ensure.
Elsewhere, the Association of Medical Engineers of Kenya, AMEK, has appealed to county governments to hire more biomedical engineers to address the acute shortage of the biomeds in the county and referral hospital. The Association Secretary General Millicent Allo decried the understaffing of biomeds in hospitals, with only 900 employed in all 47 counties, against the World Health Organization requirement of 6,000 biomeds. Allo added that unless the issue is addressed, county and referral hospitals will continue counting losses as a result of equipment breakdown and thus endangering the lives of patients.
Like if we start with level 6, we require 35 biomedical engineers to be there, so that we have biomeds in different specialities. We need a biomed in the neonatal unit to be able to take care of the biomedical equipment in the neonatal unit. Same to the ICU, where we are having critical equipment taking care of the patients. We cannot have one biomedical engineer in a casualty, the same biomedical engineers goes to the emergency, the same is in theater, in dialysis unit, and also running to the critical care unit. That is not possible. And that is what is happening currently in Kenya. So biomedical engineers are not being employed. Going to level 5, we need a total of 20 biomedical engineers at each and every level 5 hospitals. But that is not the case. We have like level 5, you find 2 biomeds, 3 biomeds. How are they maintaining the medical equipment in the country? Coming to level 4, we need 10 biomedical engineers at each and every level 4 hospital. That is not the case. In level 3, we need at least 5 biomedical engineers. So we are calling upon the county government of Kenya to open up and employ biomedical engineers so that they may be able to take care of the medical equipment. Currently, if you walk around and you see what's happening in different county hospitals or public hospitals, we have junkyards of equipment or graveyards of equipment. In fact, a friend of mine was saying we are having cemetery of equipment across the country. Why is this happening? It's because the county governments have actually declined to employ the biomedical engineers.
Also moving on, Pamoja Scrap Metals Association of Kenya, PASAC, has warned the public to be wary of unlicensed people camouflaging as legal scrap metal dealers. Association officials decried an upsurge in vandalism on both public and private infrastructure that is being facilitated by illegal players in the scrap metal industry who are using fake licenses to hoodwink the public.
Huo mtu sisi hatumjui, na ndio labda sisi tuko na vyenye tunapeana barua zetu kutoka kwa ministry na barua zetu kutoka kwa association. Ndio tukupatie barua, kuna vyenye tunakufanya vetting. Hiyo vetting inasimamiwa na watu wa county, pia polisi na sisi. Huo mtu anatoka mahali anaenda labda hata huko Machakos, unasema alitoka kwa sababu alifanya kisanga kama yenye alifanya hapa. Ndio anafukuzwa kwa sababu hana barua. Scrap metal kuna usemekana federalism inaenda juu kabisa, lakini kama sisi wenye tunanunua scrap kuna vyenye tumelete mikakati. Na ndio umesikia tumesema ndio mtu afungue kiwanja mahali, tunapeleka polisi, tunapeleka county government, na sisi wenyewe wenye tunapeana barua lazima tukuje tudhibitishe ule mtu ni mtu ako na utu.
Tumekuja huku Maguguni na tumehakikisha huyu mwenye alikuwa na hii kesi ya jana ya kwamba ni mkora, juu hata hajaweka kibao ya scrap kulingana na venye inafaa ikuwe na jina ya kampuni yake, jina ya association, namba yake na namba ya kwa Scrap Metal Council, na sasa hatuoni kama hiyo maneno yote iko. Kwa hivyo tunaomba wakaaji wa hapa, huyu mlikuwa mnadiru na mkora.
The Kenya Port Authority KPA has continued to improve the performance of Lamu Port. This comes after the authority purchased 3 modern containers that will be used in Lamu Port to facilitate in loading and offloading of cargo from ships at the port. The number of cranes has now increased to 5, with the authority promising to increase the necessary equipment at the port that which the cranes cost more than 3.5 billion shillings.
Hizi crane zote tatu ni Gottwald ambazo zimetengenezwa na Concranes from Germany na zina uwezo wa kubeba mzigo wa tani 100. Awali tulikuwa na crane mbili hapo za zamani za 100 tons, lakini kwa kuongeza umaarufu wa biashara hapa ama uwezo wa hii Lamu Port kuimprove ama kuboresha kazi, management iliamua kununua crane zingine. Sasa tutakuwa na 5 kwa ujumla, ambazo of course tunajaria kwamba biashara hapa itaongezeka ama operation itakuwa bora zaidi.
Kuongezwa kwa hizi mashini inamaanisha tutapata wateja zaidi ambao wataweza kutaka kuja kufunga shehena zao katika bandari ya Lamu. Kwa hivyo kumaanisha nao kazi itaongezeka. So hiyo ndio kwa matarajio ya idara kuwa tukiongeza hizi equipments ama vifaa, then kuna ile matumaini ya kuwa more investors wataweza kuja hapa na tuta attract business katika Port of Lamu.
The cranes which have been here, the 2 which have been here, have served for over 5 years. So relatively, we are getting new cranes, as you would expect, new cranes